Hello there! In this video, we will learn to use integration by parts. In this example, we will use integration by parts twice. And we know this because our variable t here has a degree of 2, which again signals us that we will need to use the integration by parts 2 times. Over here, in red, is our formula for the integration by parts. Now, let's identify our u and dv. And usually we want u to be the function that is easier to take the derivative. And in this case, it's much easier to take the derivative of 3t squared. So u will be 3t squared. And next, dv will be the remainder of our original problem. So that's cosine dt. Next, let's take the derivative of this u function. So that gives us du is equal to, so use the power rule, so that's 6t dt. And then next, take the antiderivative of dv, so that gives us v is equal to, so remember that the antiderivative of cosine is the sine function. Next, plug in what we need into our formula. So we have u times v, so multiply these two. So we have 3t squared times sine of t minus the integral of v times du. So that's the integral of 6t times sine of t. Next, let's focus on simplifying the integral of 6t times sine of t. And realize that we will have to take the integration by parts one more time. And so again, we will need to identify our u's and dv. So again, u will be the function that is easiest to take the derivative, which is 6t, and dv, being the remainder of the problem, is sine of t. Okay, next take the derivative of u. So that's du is equal to 6dt. Next, take the antiderivative of dv. So the antiderivative of dv, which will be the antiderivative of sine, is going to be negative cosine. Again, plug in these components into our formula. So we have u times v, so that is negative 6t cosine of t minus the integral of v times du. So that is the integral of negative 6 cosine t dt. I'll need more space. And realize that negative and negative give us positive. Negative and negative give us positive. Next, let's simplify the integral of 6 times cosine. So the integral of 6 cosine will be 6 times the sine function. And then next, we'll need to, for our last step, distribute this negative sign. So distribute this negative sign to the first term, and so that will give us plus 6t times cosine t, and then distribute this negative sign one more time to our second term, and that gives us negative 6 sine of t. And don't forget to end your answer with the plus c, just because we are dealing with an indefinite integral. And that's it. Be sure to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments for any more math help. I hope you have a good day.